create value first, become an interesting person, and then people would go after you.
The Brazilian king of digital marketing. He is a mentor of mentors. Victor Damasio.
First, I started as an affiliate, then I created my own offers, and it's been 12 years. It's not about what I'm doing differently, it's what am I doing again and again and again.
What you're saying is a timeless principle.
People keep on chasing what is new, but that's not the thing that's gonna change the game for you.
What type of results have you generated for your business?
Last 3 years, we did 8 figures. We went from less than $1 million to $4 million a year in 2 years.
Foreign markets are not as saturated as the American market. Did that make it harder or easier?
One thing that put us far behind US is our mindset. In America, people understand that every work.
How do you balance life?
I don't balance. When you say balance, it seems like it's like this, but actually it's like this all the time. Some people don't invest in themselves. My life changed when I started investing in myself.
Why America?
It's fresh and it's challenging at the same time.
Victor Damasio, welcome to the Golden Mic, my man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me here.
All the way from Brazil.
Yeah, all the way, man.
That's crazy. We're here at Cancun, Mexico, Inner Circle. Popping out episodes here today. It's been a fun day. How long of a journey is it from Brazil?
Oh, it's forever. Considering I have a 4-month-old daughter, my first baby daughter, so it took forever. 2 flights. So
2 flights. How many hours?
Forever.
Forever.
Like 8 hours, I guess.
8 hours.
6 plus 2 or something.
This is the first time you've never had a nanny, right?
Yeah, first time, no nanny. Yeah.
With traveling, which is crazy.
That was intense.
Yeah.
But actually, I feared this. It was easier than I thought.
Yeah.
I was very worried, but it happened.
Yeah. Does she sleep well?
Yeah, she slept like very well. Yeah.
Did you bring, does she sleep in the bed with you and your wife?
No, actually we share laps, just holding her.
Really? Throughout the night?
Yeah. We were on the first class, so during
No, sorry. Like here, does she sleep well now that we're here? Yeah.
Yeah, we got the family room.
Yeah.
So we have a baby crib for her, so we're doing great.
Good. Okay, so I know you. You're a client and also someone you have quite the track record in Brazil, and then you come to America and no one knows who you are, right? So, which is really, that's got to be a weird feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, whenever I told my wife and I told my Bible study people this, when they first met me, I was like, look, I'm a normal person. Unless you see me in ClickFunnels land, right? I'm like, then I'm a celebrity. But like, and my wife didn't really understand the first time, right? Yeah. And then when we came and she's like, okay.
And now she get it, right?
Right? So like, it's like that. It's like you're in your homeland, you're like, you're the man. Then you come over here, you're like, whoa, nobody.
Yeah.
So for those people who have no idea who you are, give us the, brag on yourself a little bit, right? Give us the highlight reel, what you've done and the results that you've had, because it is impressive.
It's been 12 years on the road. So first I started as an affiliate. Then I created my own offers. Then I built my groups. Then I started leading my mastermind groups. And it's been 12 years. So I have some clients who are active with me for more than 10 years.
Wow.
So what I help them do is how to craft their message, how to create their offers, how to run their mentorship groups, their mastermind groups, how to package their knowledge into digital products and be well paid out of their knowledge. Yeah. That's it.
And what type of results have you generated for your business in Brazil?
Last 3 years or so, we did 8 figures in US dollars.
8 figures in US dollars. And how many clients?
Couple thousand.
Yeah. And what's your highest price offer?
It's 20K US. So in Brazil, we say 120 reais, 120,000 reais. So it's $24,000 more or less.
Yeah. So Brazilian dollars?
Slash by 5.
I'm kidding. Okay.
Brazilian reais. Yeah.
We had a conversation
Inside
beforehand.
joke,
And everything's American, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. 12 years you said you've been in this? How old are you now?
I'm 37.
37. So you started around 25.
You're good at maths.
Yeah,
you're
listen,
very good,
man. I can do
Impressive.
basic pluses and minuses, right? Addition, subtraction. So what was life before?
Wow, I used to be a lawyer, but now,
No way.
now I'm a good person.
Now you're, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I like your sense of humor.
Yeah.
Lawyer in Brazil?
Yeah, my family is pretty traditional. So they, what are you going to be when you grow up?
Yeah.
This question, right? What are you going to do? I could choose any kind of career I wanted. Either being a lawyer or a medical doctor or engineer. So in Brazil, this is kind of the 3 good things to do if you want to be somebody or some stuff like that.
So you chose fake internet money.
Yeah. I choose law school.
Yeah.
I hated it. I dreaded it. It was terrible for me. But I graduated. I sit the bar exam in Brazil, which is called OAB.
Okay.
And then I give to my mom and to my grandmother. So here's the deal. Now I'm going to do whatever I want.
Did you ever practice?
Yes, I did. Actually, I was an intern. And then as soon as I graduated, I left.
Okay. All right. So you interned and then you're like, I'm out of here. I fulfilled requirements. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Who or what got you into internet marketing?
Wow, that's a crazy story as also. While I was doing law school, I heard about a guy that was like 25 years old and had a nice car and was earning pretty well. And then I got curious. What is the guy doing? And then he invited me to a meeting, and it was a MLM thing.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
the gateway drug to entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody starts.
A lot of people started like that.
Yep.
And I joined the thing. I sucked. I completely sucked. I tried to sell some shakes to get to lose weight, but take a look at me. So it wasn't the best idea possible, right? So it didn't work pretty well. And amongst my friends, I was the only one that wasn't exactly thriving. I said I came from a traditional family, but I got like a scholarship. So I studied in a very, very expensive school, but with a scholarship. So all my friends, they used to have more money than I used to. So people made fun of me, like lots of jokes, because during law school, I was selling shakes and was doing stuff to get some cash, to get some money. Because of that, I couldn't like recruit anyone. And then I found on the internet a way to reach out to people. I heard of a guy called Mike Dillard.
Oh, yeah.
He has a book called Magnetic Sponsoring. And it says that using the internet, I could reach out to people or make them reach out to me. So instead of me chasing them, I'll be able to like build a garden where the butterflies would come. So you create value first, you become an interesting person, and then people would go after you. That idea was awesome. That was something that for me made a lot of sense. So I started to study this route.
You know, it's interesting you say that because I think I wouldn't frame it that way, but I had a very similar experience early on, which was, so I used to have a job that I hated, right? But it was, you know, I was trying to get out of it as much as I can. I was trying to figure out how to sell stuff online. And I started like, you know, trying to sell digital cameras as an affiliate link, running, you know, whatever. Didn't make any money with it. But I remember watching like Gary Vaynerchuk and Greg Cardone like early on, right? When they were big, but not nearly as big as they are now, much smaller, right? And I was like, it's easy for them to make money because like people want to buy from them. Like they have followings, right? People actually chase them down. Or I'm like, I have no following, right? And I'm like, no wonder it's hard for me. And so it's interesting. It's that same concept, right? It's like if you could have the butterflies come to you, right? If people, it'd be so much easier, right? So that's super interesting. It's all part of the concept of the golden mic, right? Having a platform where you know increased tester. Fascinating. Mike Dillard, huh? He was yours. When did you find Russell?
Oh, it's several years later, but actually, like maybe 12 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
I got 10 years ago. I'm not very good in chronological time frame.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, all this .com secrets, like the first version, I saw it all. The Illuminati thing, all this stuff, way back.
Oh, crazy, right?
I bought some someone, like MP3 drive and stuff. I bought a lot of stuff from Russell, way back.
Russell, the OG.
Yeah. The potato gun stuff, all this stuff. Yeah, I was there.
Okay, so 8 figures. In US dollar, but in Brazil.
Yeah.
One of the things I've heard is that the foreign markets, like I'm an American through and through. Can you tell? Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm the dude that wears like I have that Trump shirt on with a little Salt Bay of like America, right? Like that. Yeah. So like I'm an American, but I've heard that a lot of countries like Brazil and other foreign countries are, for lack of a better term, behind, right? Like they're not as saturated as the American market, right? Because America's typically, when it comes to internet and technology, they've been the first historically with this, right? So has that been, well, first off, do you find that to be true? And then secondly, if so, is that a hindrance? Was that like, did that make it harder or did that make it actually easier?
That's a very clever, interesting question, because part of my ego would like to say, no, Brazil, we're doing very well. Yeah. Which we are. We are doing very well. But at the same time, I was sharing with my audience yesterday that one thing that put us far behind US is our mindset. I believe that in America, people understand that every work. Any kind of work can work.
Yeah.
In Brazil, if you're into sales, you're like a minor person.
Really?
You're seen down. Is this a phrasing?
Yeah. Like looking down at people. Yeah, you're looked down on. Yep.
People look down on you if you're a salesman. Like never worked, and then you became a salesperson. So there's a lot of kind of prejudice. People look down.
Really?
on you.
They'd rather have
Yeah,
you not work
yeah,
than be a salesperson.
yeah. So in US, you have like a 14 years old. They go do gardening.
Yeah.
They do some stuff. They do something. They sell lemonade, right?
Yeah.
In Brazil, if you are a dad and your 14 years old is working, you failed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's something very intense. And we fell into the trap of study hard and get a nice job. And that's it when you graduate. So that's what we learn. In US, I feel that people don't have this way of being or thinking. They believe in good work. They believe in doing stuff. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. But it's interesting that that's your perspective because I think that that's how the US used to be. But
not anymore.
Dude, it's crazy. Like it has changed like the current like woke culture of things and like it's much more progressive. It's like there's a lot of entitlement happening right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is not cool. Like I mean, it's sad to kind of see, but I'm glad that from an outsider's perspective that's kind of what you've seen from it.
Yeah.
How did you make 8 figures in Brazil? Like how what did that process look like?
Okay, nowadays or way back?
Let's like that's accomplishment. So congratulations to you. I mean, that's something to be celebrated and acknowledged because like that's not an easy task. And not only is it not an easy task, I think that like most people could not imagine the work that goes into that, but let alone the internal shift of the person you have to become, in the process of that. So congratulations.
Thank you.
What did that look like? I actually want to start like you said in the last 3 years or so. So like I want to back up 3 years when it sounds like that's when things really took off and really, yeah. So like what started working and like what did the last 3 years look like?
Actually, the last 3 years we all face a different environment because of COVID.
Yes.
So I believe that my business thrived, like took a very upturn. We went from less than $1 million to $4 million a year in 2 years. So it was very fast. We grew the team from 4 people to 20 people in 2 years. So 2020 to 2022, we grew a lot. And part of this was because I am good, but part of this is because in Brazil, but I think in the whole world, COVID worked as a time machine somehow. So some companies who were about to go bankrupt, they went bankrupt faster. Yeah. And some companies that are going to thrive throughout time, they got results faster. Does it make sense?
Yes.
So it's like we got like 5 years in one, 10 years in two. Yeah. For everyone working online, it was very like crazy upwards spot.
It really was.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I could acknowledge that I was good to surf that wave somehow, but not 100% of this was me. I was just doing my thing because I didn't change anything. I'm the same Victor as I was 6 years ago or even 12 years ago. You said, oh, you might be a different person. You might grow. Yeah, I'm always working on myself and my mindset and all this stuff. But people ask me, what are you doing differently? So now you're getting so many results. And then I ask back, I say, it's not about what I'm doing differently. It's what about am I doing again and again and again and being consistent.
Interesting.
So I have my mastermind group for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's the same group. Same. And I even have 4 active clients for the last 10 years.
Wow.
So it's not about the new shiny object. It's not about the hype or you need to figure out this or everything has changed again. No, it hasn't. A lot of stuff is pretty much the same as it was 10 years ago. Yeah. You deliver value up front. You create any kind of connection. People seem to like you and then they start to trust in you and then they buy from you. So it never changes. It's always like that. People say, oh, now everything changed. But every year, on those last 12 years, people say everything changed. But if every year of the last 12 years, if every year changed, it didn't change that it always changed. So is it changing?
Yeah.
Or is it the same that it's changing?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. And it's interesting you said that because, Jeff Bezos, right?
Yeah.
Founder of Amazon. And they asked, he was being an interview. I think it might even be Lex Friedman. I don't know. But they asked him some question about the success of everything. And he goes, in Amazon, everybody always wants to know like, hey, what's going to be different in 10 years? What's going to be different in 5 years? What's going to be different in 20 years? And he goes,
it's going to be the same.
Right. That's his response, right? He goes, at Amazon, I just focus on what's going to be the exact same? And then I doubled down on that. And the example he gave is he goes, there will never be a time in the future where people go, man, I loved that experience with Amazon. I just wish it was a little bit more expensive. Right. Or, hey, I loved Amazon. I just wish they had a smaller selection. Right. Amazon, great. I just wish it didn't have free shipping. Right. See what I'm saying? And he goes, we know those three things are forever, right? Forever. And he goes, so we will always focus on having low prices, big selection, free shipping, right? And fast shipping, right? Yeah. And he's like, because those will never change. Buy. Right. One click, but dude, that is it.
Yeah.
I live next to an Amazon warehouse. So it's like maybe 10 minutes up the road. And I'm not kidding. There probably 20 to 30% of the stuff that I buy can be delivered in 2 hours. Okay. So I will click it. And I'm like, it was literally faster for me to pull up my phone and click a button than it is for me to put on clothes, drive in the car and go down to Denver, buy it and come back. It'll be at my house beforehand. That is wild. Right. And that's why Amazon's Amazon. So it's what you're saying is a timeless principle, and aligns with Jeff Bezos. So I think you're onto something there.
Yeah. People keep on chasing what is new, chasing the little hack, or the color of the button that increases conversions. This is fun enough, but that's not the thing that's going to change the game for you at all.
What did your business look like? So the last 3 years, like what were your offers? And like kind of what was that? Like how many different types of offers and price points and stuff did you have?
That's awesome. So I have a 6-month program, which I call Vida de Mentor. In English, should be something like Mentor's Life.
Okay.
Like the life of a mentor. Because what I sell is I help people being mentors. So I'm a mentor for mentors.
Yep.
So that's what I do in Brazil. It's $6,000-ish for 6 months. So that's my flagship program. And after that, they can apply to my year-long program for people that want to do 7 figures in Brazilian reais. So something around $200,000. And then I have another program for people doing...
Wait. It's $200,000?
$200,000 is 1 million reais.
Oh, if they've made $200,000.
I have a program for people that want to reach out to $200,000.
Gotcha. Okay.
They want to get there.
I thought you cost it. I was like, what?
No,
okay,
it doesn't cost.
Gotcha.
It costs $10,000.
Yeah, cool.
Let's talk only dollars now, because it's going to be easier.
Yep.
So I have a $10 per year, $10,000 per year for people that want to do $200,000 per year.
Okay.
And then I have the $20,000 per year for people that does more than $200,000 per year and want to go to $1 million per year. That's it.
That's it. So $6,000, $10,000, and $20,000.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And I have the other one, which is for people doing more than $1 million, which 24-ish. So the price is pretty close. And I'm considering on merging those two groups.
Okay.
Because it's too many drawers. I created too many boxes.
Yep.
And that's something I kind of regret.
Yeah.
I started creating different boxes because it was easier to explain and to sell. So if I meet someone that is doing $300,000, it's easier to sell, hey, I have a program for people doing between $200,000 and $400,000. So it's perfect for you. So I did that for a while. It's good because they have similar pains, similar mistakes. So it's good to put them into different boxes. It's easier to sell. It's easier to fulfill. Yeah. But after a bit of time, it gets a bit messy. Does it make sense?
There's only so many variations you can do.
Yeah, I want to be more simple now. Less than 1 million, more than 1 million.
Yeah. Yes. You know Sam Evans?
I know Sam.
Yeah. So his was, he had 3, right? It was a $2,000 program, which was consulting accelerator. Yeah. It was 0 to 6 figures, right? Like literally make your first dollar to get to 6 figures. Yeah. And then the 5,800, which was eventually, I think 9,800 at one point is when it went up to. So $10,000, right? And it was 6 figures to 7 figures. And then his mastermind, which was 7 figures to 8 figures and beyond. Right? Up. Done. Right. Three things, 2,000, 10,000 and 36,000, right? Huh. Or 9,800.
Easy.
Yeah. Very simple, right? But you start getting into those nitty gritties and then it becomes very complex.
Yeah.
Did you have any front end offers, like low ticket and stuff or anything?
It's hard, Josh, because you know the yes and no. So if you go to my website, the answer is no, I don't. But if you follow me, and I have 378,000 followers on Instagram, I'm always doing something. So now I'm doing a $200 summit of mentors. So I reach out to my clients and they're sharing what is working for them. So we got like 28 mentors sharing their stuff, and we're gonna stream throughout 1 week for free. And then several people join for free. And if they want, they can buy the replays.
For $200.
The recordings. Yeah. But I don't actually see this as a front end offer because it wasn't there 1 month ago, and I don't know if it's going to be there one month from now.
Yeah,
I just create something to
exactly. But you're getting leads from it, right?
Yeah, I get leads from that.
Yeah, so I would say that's just it is a front end offer, but it's not evergreen. Yeah, right.
It's not evergreen. Yeah, so every now and then I create some kind of movement to involve people in promoting. Yeah, that's it.
And you've been doing that, and that kind of builds your email list, gets customers and stuff like that. Yeah. So for your $6,000, $10,000, and $20,000 offer, is it all phone sales?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So here's the deal. What I see people doing a lot in US is they do like the strategic session, right? They have like a setter and then they book a call. And then in the call, you try to sell people. And that approach, of course, it works. Yeah. But at the same time, if you don't filter, if you don't vet the calls, you just waste a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I learned with one of my mentors who's already passed away years ago, my huge friend, Andrei Parabellum. He's from Russia, and he taught me 4 very important questions. So that instead of just setting up a call, I would run through a form like a SurveyMonkey or Google Forms, and then I ask those 4 questions, which are, why do you think this program is the right program for you?
This is the setter?
No, not the setter. It's a form.
Oh, it's a form. Okay.
So
okay. Yep.
Before they talk to anyone, they fill a form, web form.
And is this, they've gone through a webinar or a training or VSL or something, or no?
That's the most interesting thing. You can deploy this anywhere you want in your funnel.
Yep.
So you can have a webinar that goes to the...
I know, but like I'm asking for you specifically.
I have several different entries to this form. So for instance, someone starts following me on Instagram. I shoot them a message. So I saw you started following me. Is because you like the videos or you want to grow your online business? If they say they want to grow their online business, I send them straight away to the form. Some people got like confused and dropped the form or doesn't understand. They keep on following me, and 1 month later they fill it again. So they can follow me and then go straight to the form. They can see a webinar and go to the form. They can see a launch or a challenge or a 7-day something like the summit. They see something, and then I can deploy this like a card. I can say, well, go to this link. And there's a small video in there, which is not a workshop. It's not a mini webinar. It's not. It's just explaining a bit of the program. And then they apply to the wait list. Right? And that's it.
Interesting. And what were the 4 questions again?
The first question is, why do you think this is the right program for you?
Yep.
This question is very important because people start to sell your program to themselves.
Yep.
Well, I believe in Josh. I see what he's doing with the golden mic. I want to do a podcast. So I guess the program is the right fit for me.
Yeah.
And then you ask, amongst all those people who are interested, why should I pick you as a client? And then they start selling themselves to you.
Yep.
Well, I'm very success driven.
This is the whole butterflies come to you, man. Yep.
Of course. So if you show me the way, I can do it. I'm all in and all this stuff. Third question, you show the price. So it costs $20,000, $10,000. Can you afford it right now? Yes or no? So you don't lose your time. You don't waste your time with curious people, because a lot of people just join everything and hop on calls without being even interested or not even knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I put the price straight away. Doesn't it frighten the most of people? Yes. But I believe that mentorship is not for everyone.
Yes.
It's for the minority.
Yep.
So it's a nice vetting process. And the 4th question, which is very important, but people tend to forget about, is if I take you into the program, if I take you as a client, what must have happened after those 6 months so that you're happy with the results?
Yes.
And we keep on working together. Why is this question so important? Because that's where you spot crazy people.
Oh.
Because, hey, well, I must have done 7 figures in 6 months. I don't have a business. I have no idea of my offer, but I must have done 7 figures. And then you say, well, it's doable. I've done before, but I don't think it's feasible. I don't think it's probable. Yeah. There's no high probability you're going to reach out to that goal. What if you change not 7 figures, but 6 figures? How do you think? If they behave well, they're good clients. If they're not, if they try to fight, no, 6, no, it must be 7. They're not being coachable on this call. So how would they be coachable throughout the 6-month period? Yeah. They won't. Yeah. So this 4th question is very important. Yeah. So you ask if there's a call. At first, I used to do calls. So instead of doing a whole 1 hour or 40-hour strategic session, it's like a 20 minutes where I'll just go again on the same questions they already answered. So I try to break the ice, say, hey.
Do you take the calls or do you have a team?
I used to do the calls myself, but I wouldn't go the coaching route. I wouldn't go the strategic call. It's just checking the same questions. And I even tell them, I read your answers, but I'd like to call you to see your vibe and energy. You don't need to answer exactly what you put in the form. Let's just talk. Yes. But then I ask the 4 questions again, just to figure out how they feel. Does it make sense?
Yep, 100%.
And then I could either accept them into the program or not.
Wow, that's awesome.
This is my main sales
process
until today.
Okay, so probably the biggest thing that people struggle with is traffic, right? So if you're turning away people, which by the way, I love the fact that you qualify so hard, right? I mean, you know me, right? We qualify pretty hard as well, right? And I'm like, I am not afraid to turn people away because of the success rate that we've had. The thing that allows you to do that is to have enough leads, right? And the reason most people cannot do that is because they're so desperate to get leads, right? And and by the way, that's not even just true for beginners. That's true for at every level, right? It's like at beginners, you're just trying for cash. At higher level, you're like, well, we just need leads because I need it for my sales guys or whatever, right?
Yeah.
How do you deal with the traffic issue?
That's interesting. We invest a lot in paid traffic.
Paid traffic, okay.
Yeah. We do a lot of content. If you go to my Instagram page, and I invite you guys to go there, even though you're not going to understand a single word I say because it's all in Portuguese. I
thought you spoke Brazilian.
Yeah, Brazilian.
I'm kidding.
So people say it's Spanish, right? So Brazilian is even better. Anyway, but yeah, my Instagram profile, my handler is Victor Damasio, Damasio, official. Yep. Official, but only 1 F. So you can take a look. Yeah. You can see that I have a lot of content every day. And you say that most people have a leads problem. And I don't think it's true at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, because here's the thing. When people say, I don't have an audience, and then ask, do you have an Instagram page? Yeah, I do, but only 400 people. Okay, have you seen a 400 crowd? Like 400 people in a room. It's like this room we're here, man. Yeah. It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then ask.
And by the way, they all paid $50,000.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And then I ask them, did you try to reach out to them? This thing I share here, it was very fast. I don't know if people got it, but here's the deal. If someone starts following you on Instagram, it's like if they reach to the window of your house and they're breaching in, like they're trying to see what you're doing, right?
Yep.
And then what you're going to do? I invite them in. I say, hey, I see you're looking around. Are you just curious or you want to help on scaling your business? Easy peasy, right?
Yeah.
So I do this with all the leads I get? Of course not, because too many people. But I filter them. So if they have the blue mark, the verified thing, it's a huge indicator that they might be clients. Or at least look like they're good clients. I click on their profile. If they have like a professional picture, if they have a link in bio, there are some tells that I know, this is my kind of people. He could be my client. And then I could either send an audio note. I actually send an audio. It's so easy. And sometimes...
Yeah, audio notes are my favorite ever.
I love
the voice
it.
clips. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So last Saturday, I saw a guy, verified profile, nice following. I shoot him a message by 9 a.m. He became a client the same day.
Amazing.
Right afternoon on the $6,000
and the $6,000 one.
With no calls, no anything. I sent the form. He asked a bunch of questions. I answered them all. He filled the form. He paid the fee. I look at the answers. Instead of doing the 20-minute call, I just replied back, oh, I saw your answers. I realized this, and that. Well, I take you in the program. And the guy paid.
Do you work with Fabio at all?
You're talking Fabio Soares from Brazil?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very close friend of mine and a client for several years.
So there's some similarities in the process of this with the DMs and the forms and like, so interesting. So
Fabio's amazing.
He's coming on. We're gonna do him tomorrow or Saturday.
Yeah, he's been a client for the last 4 years or so.
And what do you help him with?
At first, when he decided to go to Brazil, he was facing some mindset thing because he used to be the guy behind the scenes. So it was the first time he was on stage and stuff like that. So I could be there on his events.
And now he's just in the circle.
Now the guy is.
Dude, he's killing it.
Yeah,
like
he's killing it.
And he's smart.
Like I'm so proud of him.
Yeah. And like,
and Vanessa is also his wife.
Yeah. Yep.
She's amazing. She's a client as also.
Yeah.
And now I hired her because she's doing so well with sales.
One of the reasons I love having the podcast is, number one, because of the opportunities that it creates for sales and business and networking, but more so than that on a personal level, like it allows you to just have really cool conversations and get to know people and learn about people and like get to see their heart, right?
Yeah.
I interviewed, there was a guy in here right before that, right? Or right before you.
Amazing.
Right. And it was like, it was very interesting. You do your best to try to not judge or like not have a perception of someone, right? And it's like, but no matter what, you always do, right? Because you only have a limited amount of information. And when you actually get to sit down with them and you talk about them and you get to see, it's like, whoa, it's so cool. And like, I'll never forget Fabio, like first time I saw him, he dressed really well, right?
Suit dress up.
Oh, yeah. I am not that way, right?
Yeah.
And so I saw him and I'm like, I can't with this guy, right? I was like, he's too, like, he's going to be too professional, blah, blah, blah. And like, silly me, right? Like just dumb to write the off
judgments,
like that.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, it wasn't even like, I wasn't trying to be mean about it or malicious. I wasn't even probably all that conscious, right? It was just like, oh my gosh, right? Whatever. Cause I didn't know him, right? And then, I met him, I don't know how it's been now, a couple years ago or whatever it was. And we started talking and I was like, this dude's awesome, right? Like, and you sit down, you get to know people, and it's like it's really, really cool, right? So I'm excited to talk with him about it too. Okay,
that's interesting what you said, because you had a first judgment when you saw him, and then you had a chance by the environment to talk to him again.
Yes,
but sometimes in the internet, you don't have that chance,
right?
Right. So it's really important to be intentional about how you show up. Right.
Yeah. Well, and I think you do it really well. Right. Cause so you're a client of mine and, I study all my clients. Right. So I look at their stuff and I go through and I'm like, okay.
Even in Portuguese.
I don't know how to read your stuff,
Yeah.
but I look at it. Right.
Yeah.
And I've looked at your Instagram and I'm like, okay, because one of the things that I teach and we talk about a lot is everything in sales is status. Right. It's all a perception of this. And how you show up online, like there was a period of time in my life where I went live every single day, like live, like Facebook Live, right? Sometimes multiple times a day. I lived my life as publicly as you pretty much can live. I mean, I was live streaming everywhere I went. People could have murdered me at any given time. Like and people already knew where I went, right? And even though I lived my life that much publicly, I shared everything. If there was 100% of me, people still only saw 20%. Right. Yeah. Even though I tried to share it all. Right. Yeah. And so the way that you show up, there's such a small little window, right, that people are going to judge you off of, even if you try to share it all. And so it's like, you've got to be intentional about that. And so might as well optimize for what you want people to see. And I think that you can tell a lot about someone by how they show up online, because it shows one of two things in my head. I'm curious your thoughts on this, right? One of two things. Either one, it shows that they understand the concept and they're using it like they're using it accordingly, right? Or two, they don't understand the concept, right? And if they do understand the concept, so that's the first one, they either do or don't. And then the second one is if they do understand the concept, I think you can tell a lot about where they're at in their journey, right? And like what they're currently like dealing with, working on, or, promoting, whatever, by how they show up, right? And like for me, people, dude, if you followed my journey for 3 or 5 years, the way that I showed up online changed so much. But like, you can look back at all those things and be like, oh, he was going through a phase here or a phase here. And like, better or worse, most of the time it was, it wasn't good or bad. It just is, right?
Yeah.
So with yours, I think you do a very good job of this, right? Not only do you have the follower count, but the amount of content that you're sharing, right? And how you're showing up on there, you not only have status, but also like I'm checking out your Instagram stories earlier today. Dude, it's just like, there's some, but it's genuine, it's real, right? And it accurately reflects you. And so I think you do a really, really good job at it. Yeah.
Did you see my stories yesterday?
No, I didn't check them yesterday.
Another day, right? Not today, right?
Yeah, yesterday.
Did you check?
No,
yesterday?
I did not. No, just today. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because yesterday I overposted.
Did you?
Because it was Valentine's Day in Brazil. So several pictures with my wife.
Oh, I saw a bunch of. They're probably still up from yesterday. Yeah. That's good, dude. Yeah, but that's good. Like I share about my wife all the time.
I show a lot of my life, but for instance, I have my 4-month-old daughter. I never posted her because I don't know if she's gonna like it or not.
Yeah,
I'm an extrovert. I don't know how she's going to come up, right?
Okay, so how do you do, because we have my daughter, and my daughter is, I mean, your daughter's adorable. My daughter's adorable. Like,
and
they're
yours
cute,
is also.
right? Adore. And like, this is my world, ClickFunnels world or whatever, right? Dude,
Yeah.
she's more famous than me already in this world. Like I've had people coming up to me, like so many people in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Is this the famous Baby Willow? Right? I'm like, two days. I've been here for 7 years and she's already more famous, right? But I had some pretty big, like some pretty notable people, right? That come up, eight figure type and be like, hey, like you should put her in, like she should do some modeling, right? Like she's, to the point where like
she's perfect.
She's adorable, dude. I mean, just naturally photogenic. Her eyes will just write this. And this is something my wife and I have discussed. And I don't think we've come to a conclusion on it yet. Like I talk about her and I've posted some pictures, but we haven't been intentional about it, right?
Yeah.
So like what made you decide to not post about her?
I never felt like posting her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I understand that I took this choice of being there. Do your wife like to be on your Instagram?
My wife does not post on social media hardly at all.
Right.
My wife loves the fact that I brag about her and that I'm very public about it.
Oh.
She's very particular about which images I use. Yeah.
Yeah,
But she's
that's
much
cool.
more private.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She can express how much she likes it or not.
Yeah.
So she can say this picture yes, this picture no.
Yeah.
But my kid, she can't yet, right?
Yeah.
So I know that maybe I'm just being overcautious.
Yeah. But I think it's good though. I think
Yeah.
in today's world,
And I don't know if I'm going to change minds, but 4 months and I never post it. Sometimes I post her and I put a big smile on her
Yeah.
so no one sees her
Well,
besides my friends.
a really good, do you know Damon Burton?
No.
He's here. I'll introduce you.
Okay,
you should
cool.
know Damon. He does SEO and he's a pretty good friend of mine and actually quite really good friend of mine actually. And he's got 3 kids. And I mean, dude, you see him hang out with his kids. They're his wife, his kids, they're his world. Never, not a single picture online of them, right?
Yeah.
And anytime you see face like this or whatever,
Yeah.
his wife all the time, right? Like, oh, pose it, not the kids. And I think that it, when in doubt, it's safer to not,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean?
And again, I live in Brazil. Right?
Yeah.
I ride a bulletproof car.
Really?
I just don't
Just 'cause
think
crime
it's
and
the
stuff?
best idea
Yeah.
to just
Yeah.
show my kid
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably a good thing. Okay. How big's your team?
30 people.
30 people. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you balance, so that there are going to be 2 topics we're going to cover here. One, how do you balance life, personal life, wife and kid? Because I know you love your wife. You love your daughter. Like I got to meet her the other day. She's so cute, right? Got a little helmet on and all, right? It's awesome, right? Like you can just tell, right? How do you balance that with a team of 30 and, on all the things that go on? And then also how did you go from nothing to 30 team members? So let's start with the work-life balance, whatever that means, right?
Yeah.
How did you balance all that? Because
I don't balance. I don't balance. When you say balance, it seems like it's in balance, but it's not. It's always out of balance to either one side or the other. Does it make sense?
Yeah. I don't mean equal, but I mean like you're not. If the business took off and your wife was like, "Hey, you're spending too much time in the business right now. I need you." You wouldn't be like, "No, sorry, I'm going to divorce you and go to the business."
No,
right?
no,
of
way.
course
That's
not, right?
impossible. Yeah.
So like your wife might get less time. It might be lopsided one way or another. But how do you figure out what to put where with that? Does that make sense?
It does. And that's what I'm trying to say. When you say balance, it seems like it's like this.
Yeah.
But actually it's like this all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm more on the business side of stuff and less on the personal side.
Yeah.
Most of the times like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just forget about my business for a while. And it's very hard because I'm very driven to that. You know, Perry Marshall. Yeah, I did one of his detoxes. That was a like social media detox or something. That was very good. And
dude, those are crazy.
Yeah.
Like it is crazy how addicted. I'll just speak for me. I did a 30-day fast of sugar, and I did a 30-day fast of social media. And sugar was hard. Social media way harder. Right? So addicted. Yeah, for sure. Dopamine.
Yeah. He said that I should do a sabbatical, like once a week to not work.
Yep.
That was so hard to me. So hard.
Yep.
Because even though I don't sit at my computer almost ever, with my clients, I'm live with them twice a month. That's it. But I'm all the time like answering people.
Yep.
I'll live here and I'll get my Instagram. I'm going to do a couple of sales and I'm addicted to that. I love that.
You love it.
So
it's the game.
I spend 6 days and the 7th is like the sabbatical. Oh, I can do whatever I want. I want to work.
Yep.
No, this I can't do. No, can't do.
Yep.
Dude, that was so terrible on me.
Yep.
So terrible.
Mhm.
So I'm addicted to that.
Yep.
But I created a life where I'm never on vacation, but I'm never stuck at work.
Yep.
It's always both.
Best, right? It's
Like
the
I'm
best.
here.
Right.
I'm
We're
with
on
my
vacation,
wife
we're working.
and my
Yep.
kids,
Yep.
and now I'm recording this, and then I'll go back to her. So I figured out a way of doing it all. I came here 15 minutes late
Mhm.
because I was giving a bath to
Aw.
Isabella.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I had to choose either to be here on time
Yeah.
or to cope up with my word with my wife, which was I'm going to help her on the bathtub with my daughter.
Yeah.
And then, dude, you don't know. I took the bathtub, small bathtub that you could pour air into it.
Yeah.
And it fell in the floor, and then everything was wet and all this stuff. And then I realized, well, I'm going to be late to the podcast. And I could either postpone it or tell you that I wouldn't come, or tell my wife, hey, honey, you need to deal with this and I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah.
But on that moment, I decided to do what I committed with her. And then I told you on my way. And then I came here 15 minutes late, which was okay because you were recording yet. So everything went fine. And you could not even know that, right?
Yeah.
But what you see is that I balance everything. It's in balance, but it's not. It's every time out of balance, and I'm trying to juggle, but there is no balance. It's always out of balance. Now I'm here, not there.
Yep.
And 15 minutes I was there, not here.
Yep.
So it's okay. Just understand it's going to be like that and go straight forward.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Are you religious at all?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm Christian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, God talks about, 6 days he works, 7 day rest is a commandment, right?
It's there, Genesis, right?
Right. In Genesis, right there, right? And it's like, it's like one of the commandments, right?
Yeah.
Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy.
Yeah.
And do you know Joe Giletti?
No.
Joe and Eileen?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Joe,
Joseph.
Joseph Aaron, or Giletti. That's Gigletti. I don't know how to pronounce. Joe, I love you, bro. I don't even know how to pronounce your last name, right? But Joe. And he said that he had a near death experience, and definitely thought he was going to die. Like, kind of, thank God he's okay. But he said that he had like two things that flashed before his eyes, right, where he was about to die. And one of them was that he wished that he would have kept the Sabbath day holy, right? That he would have taken a week every single week. And we were having breakfast one time. He was visiting in Denver, and my wife and I, went out to a breakfast with him and his family, and he told me that. And my wife and I have date night every Friday night, 5:00, like it is law. But ever since then, Saturday has become our, I don't work, right? And that's law. Like, I am with the family, right? And we go to church.
You do that?
I do. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so it has become to the point where at 5:00 on Friday, and I try to not even make it 5:01. I try to make it 5:00. I am done. My phone goes off. And if I have if someone needs to get back to me on something or needs me, I'll figure out when that will be, and I'll later the next morning or whatever once, but then it goes off, and I do not check back in until after church on Sunday, right? At noon. And that full day of reset for us, it's date night Friday night, and then Saturday of no work. And I'll hang out with wife. We'll go to the pool. We'll work out. Sometimes we go to church on Sunday night or Saturday night. Sometimes we go on Sunday morning. But that reset, so hard, dude. So hard mentally. Your brain wants to stay on so bad.
That's how I feel.
All the time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm curious. So for me, what I identified was that for me was coming from the fact that I grew up in such scarcity that I felt like if I was off ever, that I wasn't going to make it, right? That I was going to run out of money, or I was going to run out of opportunity and whatever. And so by identifying that really helped me. It's still hard to shut off, right? But it helped me be okay with, I felt like I was neglecting my responsibility by shutting off. Do you ever feel that way?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. How did you deal with that?
That's just crazy. I still don't have an answer for that.
Yep. Yeah.
And how long are you taking this sabbatical thing?
Well, we've done date night for every day for 2.5 years, and it's probably been 7 months.
I love it.
8 months. I guess my daughter's 6 months old, and she was pregnant. So yeah, about 9 months probably. Yeah, 9 months.
I might reconsider that because that was very hard on me, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
What I realized is I got so addicted to working that when I was watching Netflix with my wife, I was thinking, I should be dealing with someone. I could be helping someone craft their offers, create a high ticket offer, doing something right to change the world. But here I am watching Netflix. And then I start to be ashamed.
Yep.
I shouldn't be doing that. And then I created a hack for me, which is instead of convincing myself that I must do stuff that is not work. I convince myself that it's my work, like my duty, to do stuff that doesn't look like work. As if when I'm looking at Netflix, this is my job now.
Interesting.
I need to do stuff that is not work so that I can work better. So I'm this kind of addicted to
okay. Yeah, but that's good. So I think we're very similar in that way. And like for me, it would be so bad. Dude, you're standing at the screen. Like I'd be hanging out with my wife, right? And we're supposed to be on date night or like whatever, right? And she's like talking to me and I'm looking right at her, right? And then she asked me a question and I'm like, what? Because in my head, I am working on a business problem, right? And I'm like, because my brain can't shut it off and it takes a full, like a full unwind. And that's, dude, it's crazy. Yeah. But by recognizing that taking that time off, like I am doing work, but I'm doing work on my life, not just the business. I'm doing work on my relationship. Like Friday night, to me, like I love my wife. My wife, I love her. I adore her. She is, I mean, it's like, it's Jesus and my wife, right? Like that's how it is, right? But like, I want to pour into that relationship. And if my brain is constantly thinking about work all the time and it doesn't take a break from that, I literally cannot pour into that relationship as much. I found that the way I was able to do that is by buying back my time and getting a team. Okay. Right? So because I had to not be the person that did everything. I had to find someone else to trust. And so I started with my assistant and handing off my schedule and then handing off my emails. One day I just woke up and I was so overwhelmed with emails. And then that night I sent her a message and I'm like, you now take all my emails. I'm never checking them again. And that's how I handed them off. Right. It was crazy. But like doing those things created space. It created capacity for me to be able to go and do those other things. Right. So with you got a team of 30. That's a lot of people, dude. That's a lot of people. How did that come about? And how did you go from 0 to 30?
Okay. So first I was doing a summit, pretty much like the one I'm doing here.
Okay. And
then I hired a guy who was a client and already ran a summit himself. So actually I posted on my Facebook community, hey, who here run a summit all by yourself? This summit model, I don't know if people are aware of that, but you grab a bunch of speeches and then you put like in a order and then it's free for 7 days and then they can buy the recording. Yep. It's very stressful to handle all all the content.
Like a 5-day challenge, but worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's 5-day challenge depends only on you, right?
Yeah. Right.
When you do a summit, it's like sometimes 30 people and you have to accomplish it all. So I hired one of my clients that did this himself. So he did it alone. I hired him to do everything that I didn't want to do. So that's how I started. And
that was your first hire?
Yeah. Before him, I had an assistant just to, in Brazil, when we sell something, we need to send like the receipts, like the tax thing.
Yeah.
So someone for doing that and dealing with refunds and
customer service
issues.
type stuff.
So customer service. So that's how I started. And then when I reached to 4 people, this is the funny thing. Remember I was an intern in law?
Yeah.
When I used to be working with, I was going to be a lawyer. I had a boss and I hired.
No way. Well done, dude. Entrepreneur right there.
Dude,
that's a story.
I hired my former boss. She was the top on administrative role in the office. And she was my direct boss. And several years later, 10 years later, I hired her to kind of be my boss in my own business.
Yeah, for sure.
So she's the COO. And she grew the company from 4 people to 20 people.
Oh.
So I didn't do the hiring. I didn't do the interview. So I hired her so that she could hire and train the team. That's how we did it.
Wow.
It's pretty much like the visionary and integrator.
Okay, yeah.
Does it make sense? That's how I roll.
Yeah. Well, and it's I'm at the early stages of that. Right? Okay. Like with Golden Mike Mastery, right? But we just hired, did you know we hired an integrator? I hired an integrator. Yeah. Right? Like shout out Sarah. Amazing, right? Like she's
shout out to Hedges. Yeah, hi Hedges.
Like amazing, right? Yeah. And on day 2, so I had, Dan, obviously, that's the way you found me, but Joe that works for Dan, his COO, I'm good friends with them and I'm a client of theirs. And so I was like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you interview her? Right? Because I'm thinking about hiring her. He interviews her for an hour and 45 minutes, right? And he gets done. He's like, yeah, hire her, right? And we get in, first day, I'm like, you're not real, right? Second day, I'm like, you're the boss. Whatever you say goes, right? Like I'll make sales, you run the company. And it's crazy how much you can delegate and get that done.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that she's the one that actually grew the team to 20.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of
by
course.
20. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I invested a lot. And here's something that I'd love to share with everyone.
Yep.
Some people, they don't invest in themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Sad.
They don't buy into masterminds and mentorship programs. They're cheapo people.
Yeah.
They just don't do the investment.
Yep.
So my life changed when I started investing in myself. And I invest a lot, like several $100,000 per year on mastermind, mentorship programs, coaching groups, your program.
Yes.
I love this program here. I believe that I grow so much out of it.
Yes.
That's my way of growing. So Victor, what's your way of growing? Getting mentors. That's my thing, my movement. Okay.
Yes.
But the second level of this is when you start training your people. I started training her, Regis, buying programs on running virtual events, running presential events, on hiring. She has a coach. So we invest a lot on her.
People.
Some people hire a person and
they do not
you just expect them to be awesome.
And perform.
And it's not like this.
Yeah.
People need to be developed. Does it make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we don't have a budget for that.
Yeah.
It's whatever she needs.
That's amazing. That is commendable.
I invest on my COO. My company invests on my COO on trainings and coaches and mentors more than most owners invest in themselves.
Wow.
And then they say, "Oh, Victor, I wish I could have a Regis." Yeah, but you don't invest on your Regis.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, that is incredibly powerful, and I appreciate the reminder on that because that's really good. Yeah, and that allows her to then, be better and make your life easier, right?
Yeah,
and
I'm here with you in Mexico. She's in Brazil in a mastermind, high ticket mastermind, one of the best masterminds in the world. Yeah.
Okay. For the sake of time, I want to transition to our last topic, which is I want to talk about what you're doing in America, right?
Okay.
Because you've had you're wise. How old are you again?
I'm 37.
You're 7 years older than I am, right? And you have wisdom and you've accomplished a lot of things in Brazil. Yeah. And one of the things that part of the reason that you joined with me is you're like, hey, I want in with the American way. I want to understand that and whatever. And so twofold question again. Number one, why America? Like, why come into this market? Like, why not just stay in Brazil, dude? Like, or why not just keep going? Like, there's way less competition there, right? So why America? And then secondly, what are you trying to build here? What are you doing?
Okay.
Start with the first question.
The answer goes twofold, right? Mm-hmm. The first is because of capital thing. So 1 Brazilian real used to be $1 American.
Really?
Years and years ago. And then $1 became 2 Brazilian reais. And then $1 became 4 Brazilian reais. And then $1 became 5 Brazilian reais and a bit more. And I don't know when it's going to stop.
Yep.
So, and since ever, I always invest in international programs. So I'm here with Russell. I'm on Jeff Walker's Plat Plus group. I'm on, not every year, but 3 years in a row on Brandon Bouchard's mastermind. Yes. So I always invest. I'm on Taki's program on Australia. I had Jay Abraham as a mentor. So I invest a lot. And every other year, when I write down my gross revenue, even though I grew, my money, the currency went down.
That's crazy.
So it doesn't reflect as it's bizarre.
Yeah.
So I realized that maybe I could do something to acknowledge that my currency is weaker. So it makes sense
to come to America. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think there is an opportunity. I'm just talking money wise now. Okay, there's an opportunity because I can charge what is not exactly expensive for Americans, but when I multiply by 5 something, it is good in Brazil. Yeah. So I can create some kind of tickets. They're easy to pay if you're American paying in dollars, but it still makes a difference if I consider, for instance, I think I'm underpricing my stuff in
America.
Yeah.
Bro, by a lot. We got to work on this. Yeah.
But I decided to charge the same stuff I charge in Brazil. I think I should charge at least 5 times more, but that's what I decided. Yeah. So first thing, it was money-wise considering the weakness of my currency in Brazil. The second thing is because of contribution. I understand, Brazilian Tony Robbins, he's my client. So I could help him. But I understand that I'm not limited to Brazil. When I go to those masterminds and people catch up my brain for a while, I can help them out.
Yeah.
And I feel so good about it.
Yeah.
Even when you interviewed me, I could say some stuff for you. So I feel that I must do that.
Yeah.
I feel like there is somehow a calling.
Yes.
That's why I'm on several groups and stuff. I like to be of service and at service.
And it comes across.
Yeah.
I mean, it got you this interview, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So
why not, right?
Yeah.
So I don't need to. People keep on telling me you should stick to Brazil and just to extra business in there. Okay, I'm doing $300,000 per month in there, and it's doing well. Here, I'm doing $5,000 per month in US, like in English, but I'm enjoying a lot.
Yeah.
So there's
it's learning, it's growth, it's personal growth,
I'm enjoying a lot.
Yeah.
And in Brazil, I have a transatlantic. So if I need to do a turn, it takes a lot of time, 30 people, team, leadership, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here, I can change my offer tomorrow and don't tell anyone, just change. It's like a jet ski. It's easier. It's fresh. It's new. And it's challenging at the same time. So I feel good about it.
Yeah. What's your offer now?
I'm offering some kind of weird follow-up somehow. I talk to them once a month. And I told them that as soon as the group grows, I'll go to twice a month. And there's no subject. There's no promise. There's no, business. We hang around, but they ask me about their offers, their positioning, their packaging. So I share a bunch of my templates. I make them money. They feel happy, and that's it. Some of them want help on getting more clients. Some of them want help on stopping churn. Some of them want help on delivering their programs with ease. Because that's important. Some people do a lot of money, but they create a life that they don't love.
What's the long-term vision for it, though? Are you going to narrow down? What do you know?
I have no idea, Josh. I even told you, right? I'm going with the flow, and I'm not in a hurry at all.
Yeah.
So now I have 5 clients. They all paid either $5,000 per 6 months or $1,000 per month for a 6-month commitment. Some of them paid 10 because they had one-on-one with me one time. And that's it. And I don't know how it's going to be. I know it's far underpriced, and sometimes I feel...
Yeah, but I think with how you're describing it right now, I'm figuring out it's probably accurately priced. And with the current state of the market, and I mean, how's the economy in Brazil right now? I know the currency is terrible, but is it on an upswing? Is it on a downswing?
Dude, this is a crazy thing about me. I don't care about economics.
No, I understand.
Politics. I just go...
I know, but like, do you know what it is like? Do you even pay attention? Do you even know?
What we are seeing in Brazil in the info space, I mean, Hotmart, which is the major platform, they're going up.
Yep.
But they're going up in a very capillary way. So more players dividing the pie. So some of the biggest players...
Not so much growing the pie.
...are having a hard time and keeping on growing.
Yeah.
But more players...
are. Yep. And I think that's accurate in America as well.
Yeah.
Like I think right now, I mean, America, the economy right now is terrible, right? I mean, it's bad. I won't get political. Yeah, we know my stance, right? But it is. It's not well. And I do think there'll be a crash and a reset here soon, and then things will start to pick back up. But in the current state of the market, right? Like if you're figuring things out, like I think access to you is valuable, right? And your knowledge and things, and dude, you're figuring it out, and like that's awesome. And like I love your attitude on things. You're one of the more positive people I've met in a while, and it's really inspiring to hear your journey, and then just kind of how you think about life and how you balance things and your energy. So I really appreciate you coming on and sharing, and taking the time to do this, man. It's been fun.
I'm happy for being here. I'm happy you invited me. And it's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. So before we go to rapid fire, to wrap it up, where can people find you? Is Instagram the best spot?
Yeah. If they go to Instagram, it's going to be in Portuguese, right? But yeah, Victor Damasio official with one F.
With one F.
They're going to find me.
Okay.
But if they go to victordamasio.com, I'm going to set up a web page for them.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And then I'm going to put a lot of resources in English, speeches I did in English. I did a 1-day workshop with Jay Abraham in Brazil. I'm going to put some of this stuff there so that people get to know me. I think it's a good idea. When I decided to do the international business, I decided to do without creating a lot of content. But looking back several years, I did a lot of stuff in English, like inviting people. Yeah. And maybe I could use a bunch of this just to tell people what am I about.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, for sure. We'll link that down below. Get it up.
And they can write me they can write me an email.
An email?
At victor@victordamasio.com.
Oh, you respond to those?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm going to reply to them because in Brazil it's not like that.
Yeah.
So that's the
you're just like, dude, I want to talk to people here in America. Yeah. So you want it.
I'm open.
Yeah.
I'm far more open.
Yes.
So in Brazil, I don't have a calendar link where people can talk to me. In Brazil, I don't. But here I can because there is less people looking for. It's like I'm gonna say something that might sound silly, but that's how I feel some of the times because of the huge audience, 378,000 people. You just said the same with you, right? You're niche famous, right?
Yep.
I'm famous on the internet marketing space in Brazil.
Yep.
So it's something like if in Brazil I'm Superman somehow. But here I'm Clark Kent.
Yep.
Does it make sense?
Yep. No,
I'm
get
very
it.
approachable and I want to talk to people.
I know. And it's awesome, right? Because I have that same thing. And it's like in my normal life, I'm like, text me, come on over, like whatever. And then in this world, I'm like, dude, if I opened up.
It's impossible.
If I would have been like, come over whenever, everybody. Dude,
they would come, right?
Literally, they would jump around.
There's a party.
I'm serious. And you never, I'm like, okay. And that's good. That's awesome. So we'll link both of those down below. Go check him out. Like he's awesome. I mean, Victor really is. We've gotten to know each other a little bit, and I appreciate you being part of the program, but also just for this interview. I mean, really giving me your time. I know that's valuable. So thank you for doing it. You ready for some rapid fire questions?
Let's go.
All right, rapid fire questions. This is just fun to get to know you a little bit. Okay. Number one, what's one bucket list item that you have not yet accomplished?
I've traveled 50 countries so far.
Really? 50?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. But it's in my bucket list to visit all visitable countries.
All visitable countries.
So even though I checked 50 of those buckets, there's a lot.
There's a lot more.
And now with the baby, it's going to be a bit harder, right?
Yeah.
But,
you got to get that American money now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be able to do all that or Bitcoin, but that's a different topic. Okay, cool. Number two, who's one person that you want to meet before you die?
So there's this guy, Steve Vai. He's a guitarist. And I'm a huge fan. I could even play with him in one of his boot camps. I love his playing, but it's not about his playing, it's the way he thinks. So I admire him so much that I'd love to spend more time and get to know him better, the way he thinks and stuff. So whenever he has Steve Vai.
All right.
The guy is a genius, like a guitar wizard.
Steve, if you're listening, hit him up. Cool. What's one book you think every entrepreneur should read?
Oh, Millionaire Messenger. By Brendon Burchard.
Okay, by Brendon Burchard. Okay.
Yeah, that book changed my life.
Really?
I decided to be that millionaire messenger, and it worked.
All right. My operator is a big Brendon Burchard fan, and so I'm getting more into Brendon's world. Yeah. So that's good.
Amazing. I love him.
Last question is: I want you to fast forward to the end of your life, and you're on your deathbed. Right. So every person that you've interacted with, that you've impacted, that you've served over the course of your lifetime, they forget everything you've ever taught them. Right. Which for you, I mean, a lot of people on this podcast, that's a pretty big number, right? Especially, I mean, with you in Brazil and all that. So they don't remember everything, but you get to leave them with one final message, right? One final piece of advice or wisdom or whatever, and they'll believe it at face value, right? So meaning like they will take it, they don't need an explanation, but they're going to just live it out. What's that message or piece of advice to them?
Be bold, make it worth it. Life is too short for you to not become who you came on this earth to be.
Wow.
So make it worth it.
Yeah. Amazing. Victor, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, man. Appreciate it. Here,
awesome.
let's do this one. There we go.
Oh, man.
Shake your hand. Guys, until next time, that's all I got. So we'll see you next time. Peace.